Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Ashwath. Ashwath, I told you to learn the chapters. Have you learned those chapters daily basis? You are doing that?
Ma'am, yesterday I was revising SST, uh, devotional parts to the revise.
Okay, then what about the science and the maths?
Yesterday I didn't, I was doing SST.
Daily you should do it. Okay, today do the
Ma'am,
science
I
also.
have to do daily 3 subjects or only one?
Three. One chapter from each.
Ma'am, like what you told today, I can tell that to me.
No, see, one chapter of science you should do, one chapter of maths you should do. So whatever chapters are going to come in your exam, that from that chapter you can select and you can do it. If you feel like one chapter you can't do it, then at least two subjects you should complete it. Okay, children, so turn on your videos now. And I think we were on the chapter respiration, right? So nutrition in plants, nutrition in animals. Now with the respiration chapter, we will be starting with respiration chapter is very important. The reason is because the same thing you have the same topic in the grade 10th also. So nutrition in plants, nutrition in animal, respiration and transportation. These four chapters are there in your grade 10 in a detailed way of it. Fine. So you should know what is given in your grade 7 for that. Okay. Ashwatey and Ashwath, you both also need to turn on the video.
Ma'am, 1 minute, ma'am. I'm having network issues.
Okay. So, my first question before starting this chapter is: are the term respiration and breathing same?
No, ma'am.
No. What is the difference, Rohini? Then
Ma'am, I guess respiration means inhalation and exhalation and the release of energy in the body. And breathing means like the exchange of gases, I guess.
okay. Ashwath, you would like to say something about the respiration and breathing? Are they same? Are they different? If they are different, then how they are different?
Breathing is a thing which we inhale and exhale, and respiration is a process where we will take oxygen and we will release carbon dioxide. Uh,
Okay. Shritesh, anything else you want to add on for this Rohini and Ashwath?
I'm sorry, your voice was breaking.
No, I'm saying that are the breathing and respiration both process are same or are they different? And if they are different, what is the difference between them?
Ma'am, breathing is just exchange of gases, and respiration is the utilization of the oxygen and
Hmm.
the
And
releasing of carbon dioxide.
okay, I'll make it very simple, children. I think you know you have learned the same definition because okay, never mind. I'll tell you they both are entirely different. But generally, what happens when we talk about you know in a general day-to-day life, we will be using it the same way, right? If I say I am breathing, if I say I respire, that person is respiring, that person is breathing. So in when we say that, it is basically the same, but it should not be actually because both are entirely different. In the case of the respiration, there it is a biochemical process, okay, whereas in the case of the breathing it is a physical process. And are you getting it? In the case of the respiration, it is a biochemical process, whereas in the case of the breathing, it is a physical process. Now, I'll tell you what it is biochemical and what it is physical. When we talk about the physical, it involves only the organ. Okay, so in the breathing process, the functioning of the organ will be there. Whereas when we talk about the respiration, we say it is a biochemical because during the action of the respiration, what happens? There will be certain enzymes, there will be certain chemicals which will be doing that complete process of the respiration. And hence we call them as a biochemical process. Fine. So along with the organ, there also the chemicals and the enzymes will be playing an important role. Whereas in the breathing process, it is physical because only the organs will be, doing the role. Okay. The second thing is when we talk about respiration, here what happens? Whatever food we take it will break down to get the energy. So, in a very simple word, respiration is the process where food will break down into the energy in the presence of oxygen. So, whatever food you are eating in the body, it is going, and then ultimately it is breaking down. And through that, what we are getting the energy. Clear? Whereas in the breathing, there the inhalation and the exhalation is happening, which is we are taking the oxygen and we are releasing the carbon dioxide. Am I clear? So one is biochemical, one is physical process. In the biochemical, the enzymes will be and the enzyme will be working for the whole process to happen. Whereas in the physical process, which is breathing, there only organ will be functioning and will be working there. Whereas respiration process, breaking down of the food will be there in the presence of oxygen, through which we will be getting the energy. Whereas in the case of the breathing, it is nothing but it is the exchange of the gases where the oxygen we will be taking inside the body and we will be releasing the carbon dioxide gas. This is the difference between the respiration and breathing. Now, respiration, it's basically of two types. And before that, cellular respiration is there. So, two words are there, respiration and cellular respiration. Both means the same, actually. When we talk about, particularly about cellular respiration, it means the respiration which occurs inside the cell. Okay, so whole body has a cell in our body, right? So in each and every cell, what is happening, the respiration process is happening. So that is why we call them as cellular respiration, because it happens inside the cell. And when we talk about the normal respiration, like the simple word respiration, it means it can happen in my body also. It can happen to the other organisms, like the cockroaches there, the frogs are there. So that is why general term we are using, a common term we are using respiration. And when we talk about our body, human body, we call them as a cellular respiration. Clear? That is the difference actually. Okay, two types of respirations are there. Respiration are there. The first one is the aerobic, and the second one is the anaerobic process. When we talk about the aerobic process, there the energy which is produced is very high, right? Like we humans, what we are doing, we are eating the food we in our body automatically during the digestion process, what you have learned in the previous class of the science. So during the digestion process, during the nutrition process in the human, that food will break down, right? That you have learned in the nutrition animal process. Now after breakdown, what you will be getting, you will be getting the energy actually, and that energy will be stored in the mitochondria. Do you know what is mitochondria? No?
Part of a cell.
Part of a cell, or it is the organelle in a cell. Okay, let me explain first of all few other things I should explain before going to this topic. Let me explain that. Okay, just a minute. Let me know, children, if my screen is visible or not to you. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, okay, I'll tell you first of all about the cell. Now, suppose this is a cell. Okay. Now, in the cell, what is there? The different parts will be there. The outermost part of the cell, outermost membrane of the cell, it is called as the cell membrane. Okay. In the, if this is a human cell I'm talking about, not the plant. I'm talking only about the human cell. So, in the case of the human, the outermost layer or the membrane is called as a cell membrane. Now, inside that, there are so other parts present there. The center one, in the center, there will be the part, the spherical part. This spherical part is called as the nucleus, and this nucleus is basically called as the brain or the control of the cell, control center of the cell. Reason why it is called as brain of the cell or control of the cell, because whatever activities the cell they do, the nucleus will be controlling. Am I clear, children? Rohini, Adrit, Ashwat, and Shritesh?
Yes, ma'am.
So in the center, the nucleus will be there. This nucleus will be controlling all the activities of the cell. Now, apart from that, there are the structure like this. Okay, I'll draw this structure. Okay, this structure, this one, I'll draw it in a larger size. Okay, here. Now, this is what the mitochondria is. So, this mitochondria is basically a double layer. It has how many layers? Two layers are there. This is the structure of the mitochondria. So, like this, it will be the outer layer, this outer side layer, it is called as the outer membrane. And then inner to this, inside to this, there is a second layer which is called as the inner membrane. So it has two layer, outer membrane and the inner membrane. Now what happens, as you can see, this inner membrane is actually has some foldings like here, right? Can you see a finger-like structure inside this? This is basically the inner membrane which has the finger-like projection. This green color, what I have highlighted is the inner membrane, which has the finger-like projection. And these are called as the villi. Like in the small intestine, you have learned about the villi. Same way they have the villi. What happens now? Why they have this finger-like projection? So that more amount of energy can be stored. So here, this region, what I'm marking here, what they will be doing? They will be storing the energy in between these projection. Here also they will be storing the energy. So that is why this surface has the villi, so that more amount of the energy can be stored. Now, if more amount of energy will be there, you can work more for more time actually. And once this energy you are using for your activity, now again what you will be doing? You will be eating the food and then again the whole process of digestion will be happening. Then it will go into the cell. In the cell, the mitochondria will prepare the energy. So that is how the process will keep on happening. So that energy, what the respiration is happening, the glucose is breaking down, the food is breaking down to give us the energy. That energy is stored here in this part of the cell called as the mitochondria. And this mitochondria is also called as powerhouse of the cell. Now, why it is called as powerhouse of the cell? Because it helps in the production of energy. Are you getting it, children? Adrit,
Yes, ma'am.
Shritesh. So these
Ma'am,
things
actually, I have a
are
doubt.
not there. Yeah, tell me, Shritesh.
Ma'am, is it pronounced as Willy or Villi?
Both are okay. Villi or villis are also.
Okay, ma'am.
And it is also called as villus actually. Villus. Villus, villi, villi.
Ma'am, Villas is network of them, right?
Network of them, and also there is actually singular and the plural part of it. Okay. Now the next one is okay. So this is the mitochondria, and this mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell. Now what happened now if maybe Shritesh is there? Okay, Shritesh is getting the money from his mother. Okay. Now, in which form you are getting the money from your mother? What she is giving to you? Yes, Shritesh. In what form you are getting the money from your mother?
Ma'am, in cash?
In the cash, right? Basically, that cash we can say as like in the note form you will be getting, or we can say in the currency form you are getting. Currency can be the paper note also. It can be the coin also. Okay. So Shitesh is getting the money in the form of the currency, in the form of the note, and then what he is doing, he has the piggy bank. In the piggy bank, he is storing it. Okay. Same way in the mitochondria, what they will be doing, whatever energy they are producing, they are producing it in the form of the ATP. Like we have 10 rupees note, 20 rupees note, 50 rupees note, 100 rupees note. Same way in the mitochondria, the energy should also have some form of it. That form of energy in the mitochondria is stored in the form called as the ATP. This ATP full form is
Additional
adenosine triphosphate. Correct. So this is adenosine ATP. ATP is called as the energy currency of the cell. So whatever the energy the mitochondria will be storing or will be producing it, that will be stored in the form of the currency, energy currency, which is called as the ATP. And whenever you need, your body need it, whenever any part of it is needed, so that will be actually used through this ATP. So that is how the powerhouse of the cell is. it is, and it stores the energy in the form of the ATP. Okay. So moving now to the next one is, so that's about the aerobic. Here, as I told you, cellular respiration, the process by which cell in the plants and animals will break down and break down the sugar. Sugar is basically nothing, but it is the glucose, which we call them as a food. So cellular respiration is a process in which the food or the glucose or the sugar will break down inside the cell and it will turn into the energy. It means it gives us the energy. The release of energy during cellular respiration. So how it works, that equation is glucose, which is basically the food, in the presence of oxygen, they will be releasing the energy to so that we can do the work, and also they will be releasing the carbon dioxide and the water. So that is how we are releasing the carbon dioxide, and the water we are releasing either in the form of the urine or in the form of the sweat. We are releasing it outside. Two types of respiration are there: aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration. Both are important actually. In our body generally we are having the aerobic respiration, but sometimes we also have the anaerobic respiration. Can you tell me when do this anaerobic respiration works in our body?
Ma'am, when we do some heavy exercise or running and all.
Ma'am, anaerobic
Correct. So when doing the heavy exercise time,
ma'am, it
yeah,
happens
tell me, Rishit.
when there is no oxygen.
Yes, Rishit.
Ma'am, it happens when
It
there is
happens
no
when there is no oxygen, which is correct. This is also correct. It happens when there is no oxygen. Now, one more point is there, children. You might have noticed during the night time when you sleep on your one side, right? Sometimes, by not knowingly, but unknowingly, sometimes you sleep on one side of your hand. And then after some time, you start, in the night time, your that hand when you on which you slept it starts paining. Have you ever felt it?
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Kshitij is saying yes, right?
Yes,
That
ma'am.
happens actually because of the formation of lactic acid. So since you have slept on one side of your body, then during that time, what happened? The amount of oxygen was not able to actually, circulate it. And because of that, the lack of oxygen was there, and ultimately, that lack of oxygen will result into the formation of lactic acid. And as soon as in your body, due to the lack of the oxygen, when the lactic acid will start forming, automatically what happened? It starts, paining a lot. And then immediately a second, like when you try to turn your hand back or leg, back somewhere left and right. So for a second you will have the severe pain, but after that you will be normal. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Why it is because as soon as you jerk your leg, the oxygen supply will become normal. Am I clear, children, how it is happening actually?
Yes, ma'am.
You might have noticed in your school also actually, like sometimes during the any kind of the celebration time and all, they will be asking you to sit on the ground and all, on the floor they will be asking you to sit, right? So during that time when you sit, so your leg will not be working properly, they will not be actually functioning properly, right? You will be getting the pain and all, but as soon
Yes.
as you get up and you start jerking your leg, you will become all right. So that is because of the formation of the lactic acid. So when in our body, or when in any part of the body there is lack of oxygen during that time, this problem will be there. The formation of lactic acid will be there. And ultimately, when we start, jerking it left, right, up and down, it starts working because of the circulation of the
Mom, mom, that happens to me every
oxygen.
time. Mom.
Clear? Yeah. Every day.
I'm not every time, not every day. I like every time I sit down for a while.
Yes, yes. It happens actually, Kshitij, with everyone. If I also, sit for some time on the floor, it starts paining because of the down part of our leg will not be in contact with the oxygen, and because of that lactic acid formation, it starts aching. But yes, as soon as we get up, or as soon as we get the support, or as soon as we stretch that leg, we will be normal there.
Yes, ma'am.
So this aerobic respiration actually produce in our body the high energy. So we will be getting the high amount of energy due to this process. Whereas the organism who undergo the anaerobic respiration process in them, the energy which is produced will be the low amount of energy. So now let us discuss first of all the difference between the both aerobic and aerobic. This is very, very, very important part. Not only for 7th, but for your 10th, 11th, 12th, all the classes, it is very important. The first point of the aerobic respiration is that it takes place in the presence of oxygen. So always the aerobic respiration will be occurring in the presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic will be occurring in the oxygen. The second thing, in aerobic respiration, complete oxidation of glucose takes place. So do you know, children, what do you mean by complete oxidation? Any idea about that? Kshitij, Adrit, Anu,
It gets
Rohini, and
converted.
who else is? Ashwath is there. Rishit. I think I told you about that, right?
No, ma'am.
Can't remember that?
Um,
I think I told. Rohini, you were saying something. You tell me what you were saying, the answer.
Uh, Is it like glucose gets converted
Hmm.
into some simpler substances?
Okay, fine. I'll tell you. See, complete. They are the two words: complete oxidation, incomplete oxidation. When we talk about the complete oxidation, in that process, what happened? Whatever the molecules of carbon are there, that will be completely changing into single carbon molecule. For example, what is the formula of glucose? You tell me, children. Formula of glucose. Hmm. C6H12O6. Very, very important. This is
yes, sir.
C6H12O6 is the actually the formula of the glucose. Now, during the aerobic respiration time, that glucose, which is C6H12O6. So, in the C6H12O6, how many carbon are there?
Ma'am, 6.
And
Six
6.
carbon molecules are there. Okay. Now, this glucose will be converted into the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is in the carbon dioxide. How many carbons are there?
2.
CO2. How many carbon?
Ma'am, 2.
Ma'am, 1.
One. Rohini, the two is basically for the oxygen, not for the carbon. Okay, so carbon is one. So what happened during the aerobic respiration time? The molecules of the carbon, which were like 6 in number in the glucose, were completely converted into one molecule of carbon dioxide. Okay, one carbon is present in that CO2, one carbon molecule. Whereas when we talk about the incomplete oxidation, in that what happened? Whatever the number of carbon molecules will be there, they will be converted into more than one molecule of carbon. For example, in the case of the anaerobic respiration, the glucose, which has 6 carbon molecule, will be converted into 2 carbon molecule, like the ethyl alcohol. Okay, you might have learned about the alcohol, that in the anaerobic process, they will be converted into alcohol, correct? And the formula of the alcohol is C2H5OH. Now, in the C2H5OH, how many carbons are there? C2H5OH.
2, ma'am.
2.
Ma'am,
Correct? I am saying C2. It means 2 carbon are there. So how many glucose were there earlier? Earlier there was a 6 glucose, but now after the reaction, how many glucose were left? 2. So that is why if in case any reaction has more than one carbon molecule left, such kind of the reactions are called as the incomplete oxidation reaction. And if it is only one carbon molecule, then we will be saying it as a complete oxidation. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So in the case of the aerobic respiration, the glucose molecule will have the complete oxidation and they will be converted into the carbon dioxide, whereas in the case of the anaerobic process, there will be the incomplete oxidation where the glucose molecule will be either converted into the alcohol or else it will be converted into the lactic acid. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And the lactic acid is basically the 4 carbon molecule compound. Okay?
Okay.
So that is how the difference between the complete and the incomplete oxidation will be. Okay, so now going to the next one. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So this was the second point. In aerobic respiration, complete oxidation of glucose will be taking place, whereas in the anaerobic process, the glucose molecule is incompletely oxidized. So it means where the 6 carbon molecule will be either reducing to 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4 carbon, or 5 carbon, but not to the 1 carbon. Whereas in the case of the aerobic, the 6 molecule will be changing into the 1 molecule of carbon. Then third point, here in the aerobic respiration, the end product which is formed is the CO2 and water. And that is how I told you. They will be converting into 1 carbon molecule, which is carbon dioxide. Whereas in the anaerobic process, they will be forming either the ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol formula is C2H5OH. Okay, or the lactic acid. Lactic acid is written as, I'll write lactic acid also, C, just a minute. It will be written as C, I'll write it here, C, CH, H, COOH, CHC. So like this, the formula of the lactic acid is written. So how many carbons are here? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what happens here in the fourth point? Lot of energy is liberated. So, as I told you already, in the case of the aerobic respiration, what will happen? The high amount of energy will be released. Whereas in the anaerobic respiration, the less amount of the energy will be released. Can you see the number of ATP molecule? How many numbers are written here for the aerobic case? How many ATP are written in the case of the aerobic?
38.
38 ATP. And whereas for the anaerobic, how many ATP are there?
2.
2. So see, you can see how much the difference is. In the case of the aerobic, we are producing so much of energy, which is 38 ATP. Whereas in the case of the anaerobic, just the 2 ATP will be formed. And what is ATP? Energy actually, currency. How we have the notes, 20 rupees notes and 10 rupees notes, same way, this ATP we have in the form of the energy currency. Then the next point, in the aerobic respiration, it will be occurring in the plant and animal both cells, whereas in the anaerobic, it will be occurring in the muscles, in the human muscles. As I told you, when you run heavily, or when you exercise heavily, or when you in the night time, when you sleep on one side of your body, then also in the bacteria, they will undergo the anaerobic process. And last, the equation, the glucose in the presence of oxygen will break down into carbon dioxide and the water, whereas in the second side, in the anaerobic case, the glucose will break down into the either the ethyl alcohol or either the lactic acid. Now, the next topic is, why do muscle cramps arise after a heavy exercise? So when we do the heavy exercise, why it occurs? So the cramps occurs when cells respire anaerobically. So when in our body there is lack of oxygen during this time, the formation of the lactic acid will be there and starts producing the cramp. So the partial breakdown of glucose produces the lactic acid, and due to the accumulation of lactic acid, the muscle will start straining or pain. Is there any doubt, children, till here?
No, ma'am.
Rohini, Shritesh, Charvik, Anup, Rishit, Ashwat, Adrit. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Now, the next one is, how do we breathe? That was about the respiration. Now, it's about the breathing, which I told you it's a physical process where the organs, like, the lungs will be involved. Then you have the part called as the rib will be there. So, when we get oxygen by breathing in air and we remove carbon dioxide from the body by breathing out, we call as a breathe. Now, breathing can be defined as a process in which organisms take in oxygen-rich air present in the surrounding, and they will be releasing the oxygen air that contain the high amount of CO2. So generally what do? We will be taking the air inside, which is rich in oxygen, and we will be releasing the carbon dioxide. We will be releasing the air which is rich in carbon dioxide. So two processes are there. This inhalation is also called as the inspiration, and this is called as the expiration. Okay, in the grade 10, by the name of inhalation and exhalation, it will not be there. It will be by the name inspiration and the expiration. which means inhalation and exhalation only. In the case of the inhalation, it's the process of taking the air that contains oxygen inside the body, and exhalation is the process that contains the carbon dioxide outside the body. Now, this both the process of inhalation and exhalation should take place simultaneously, which means one after the other. It should keep on going. Now, here this is the activity where they have told about the respiration process, how the lungs are working. What you need to do, you have to take a white plastic bottle, remove the bottom. So this down part, you have to remove it, you have to cut it. Then get a white plastic tube. So this white plastic tube, you have to take it, make a hole in the lid so that tube may pass through. So from the top part, what you should do, you should pass this Y-shaped tube inside. So to the fork end of the tube, fix two deflated balloons. So this side, what you at the end of the tube, what you should do, you have to fix two balloons. Introduce the tube into the bottle as shown in, and now cap the bottle. So once you have fitted this Y-shaped tube inside, you have to cover the bottle. You have to cap it, make it airtight so that air cannot go outside. And to the open base of the bottle, tie a thin rubber using a large rubber band. So here a rubber band, you have to fix it. Pull the rubber sheet from the base downward and wash the balloon. So as soon as when you start stretching it downwards, you have to observe what will happen to the deflated balloon. So once you start, stretching the rubber sheet downside, automatically the balloon which are deflated will start, creating the air inside it and start inflating it now. So pull the rubber sheet from the base downward and wash the balloon. Next, push the rubber plastic sheet up and observe the balloon. And as soon as you lift it upside, inside means it will deflate again. So what do the balloons in this model represent and what does the rubber sheet represent? So this balloon basically will be representing the lungs, and this rubber sheet is basically the diaphragm. So that is what the activity is where they're talking about the inhalation and exhalation process of it. Am I clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the next one is breathing rate. Breathing rate is defined as the number of the times a person breathes a minute. So that is a small activity again where which is given in your book also. Take the hand and the wrist, actually the wrist part you have to take it, right? So when you keep your, you know, finger, the index finger over there, you will be able to feel a kind of the vibration, a kind of the sound actually. Can you get it?
Yes, ma'am. Like we get a throbbing sensation. Like
Right, throbbing sensation will be there. So for a minute, you have to count it, that how much count you are getting for a minute actually. So you have seen the doctors, what they will be doing, they will be finding like this actually. They will be keeping two fingers like this to check it. Now, how many times you will be getting in a minute? Yes, children, how many times you'll be getting in a minute? How many? So when you do that, you will be finding that, 12 to 20 breaths per minute will be there. And there's a difference between the heart rate and the breathing rate, children. When we talk about the heart rate, it will be higher actually. And when we talk about the breathing rate, it will be 12 to 20 breaths per minute. And here, why we are counting it as only 12 to 20? Because it includes both the process. The inhalation also it should be there and the exhalation should also be there. So rate can be defined as the number of times a person breathes in a minute. Is my child breathing too fast? So you might have seen a small baby up to the 6 month, they will be breathing 30 to 60 breaths per minute. Then 6 to 12 months, they will be breathing 24 to 30 breaths per minute. Then 1 to 5 year child will be breathing 20 to 30 breaths per minute. Then 6 to 12-year child will be breathing 12 to 20. And also the 12-year and up, they will also be breathing 12 to 20 breaths per. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Then come the next important process, which is the system is actually, a very, very important part. Am I audible, children, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So again, I'll share my screen now. So human, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So human respiratory system, it starts with the nostrils. So we have the nostrils. In the nostrils, we have the nasal hairs, right? Am I correct? We have the small, small hairs in our nose, which are called as the nasal hairs. These nasal hairs are very, very important because they will be actually filtering the air. So when we breathe, we will be taking the air, right? So when we take that air inside the body, it has to be filtered. And the nose will be doing it with the help of the nasal hair. So nasal hair will be doing the filtering of the air process. And sometimes you immediately sneeze. Why the sneezing is there? It is because sometimes what we do, we will be taking the dust particle into our nose. And as soon as this dust particle will be coming and attacking the nasal hairs, they will start creating the problem and we sneeze it. It means we remove that dust particle outside through the sneezing. Once this is done in the nostril, it will go to the next part, which is called as the pharynx. It goes to the next structure, which is called as pharynx. And after the pharynx, it goes to the next structure called as larynx, then to the trachea. So this pharynx, larynx, and trachea, they are nothing but they are actually the tube-like structures which will be helping the wind to pass through. So the wind passage will be there through this. Once the trachea is there, I'll just draw the diagram also. Not so perfect diagram, but I guess I will be trying to draw it somehow. I'm telling you it's not so perfect, but yes, it is just a try. Okay. I hope it's fine only, right? Okay. So here, this is the trachea. This point, this tube-like structure is called as trachea. Now, can you see this trachea has been divided into two tube-like structure, right? This part which I'm marking as a blue are the two tube-like structure from the trachea, and these are called as the bronchi. Okay. Now, this bronchi also has the other division, other small tube-like structures, which are called as
Bronchial.
bronchioles. Okay.
Ma'am, both the bronchi together are called bronchus, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Both bronchi, left and the right bronchi together is called as a bronchus. And these bronchi will have so many other smaller tubes, which we are called as the bronchioles. And over the bronchioles, there will be the balloon-like structures present, which we call them as the, what do we call them as? The billow-line structure present on them, this is called as the alveoli. And this is the place, this alveoli is the place where the exchange of gases will be happening. So they will be taking the oxygen and they will be releasing the carbon dioxide. So that is how it will be working. So nasal nostrils will be there, nasal passage I can write, or nasal passage, which will be including the hairs and which will be including the nostril. Then it goes to the pharynx, then it goes to the larynx, then it goes to the trachea, then from the trachea it goes to the bronchi, from the bronchi it goes to the bronchioles, from the bronchioles it goes to the alveoli. And alveoli is the place where the exchange will be happening. Now, this we were talking about the oxygen. Okay. Now, similar way, what happened? The carbon dioxide will be moving out actually. How it will be moving out? Once we are getting the oxygen, opposite, they will start doing it. So they will be releasing the carbon dioxide to the bronchioles. Bronchioles will be giving it to the bronchi. Bronchi will be giving it to the trachea. Trachea will be giving it to the larynx. Larynx will be giving to the pharynx, and then through the nostrils. Again, we are releasing it outside. So that is how the respiratory system will be working. So here you can see the picture. This is the nasal cavity, which include the nostrils, your nasal hairs, nasal passage also. Then pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and lungs. They have not given about the alveoli, but alveoli are the most important part for the exchange of the gases. And this is how the movement will be there. The oxygen-rich air from the environment, they will be entering into the nasal cavity, goes to the pharynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli. Now, the reverse process will start. They be giving the to the bronchioles, then to the bronchi, bronchi to the trachea, trachea to the pharynx, pharynx to the nasal cavity, and then outside. Am I clear how the respiratory system works? Yes, Adrish, Shitej, Rishit, Charvik, Anup, Rohini,
Yes, ma'am.
Ashwath. Now, in the other animals also, how does the respiration occurs? In the fishes, they have actually the gills. Now, directly they cannot take the oxygen from the environment, right? From where they are taking it? They are taking it from the water. And in the water, it is present. The oxygen is present in the water. So animals that live underwater have the special respiratory organ called as the gills. And gills are they are what? They are the complex structure. They are present on the skin of the animals like the fishes. And with the help of the gills, it allows the exchange of the gases. Now, children, what is the difference between gills and the fins? Are they same? Are they different?
Ma'am, gills are the breathing organs, whereas the fins, they're parts they help in the movement of the fish.
Very good. So, correct, Rohini. Gills are basically the respiratory organ in the fishes, whereas the fins are the locomotory organ. With the help of them, they will be finding the direction. They will be helping them the movement process. Then the next one, respiration in insect, like in breathing in the cockroach. So cockroach, what do they have? They have the spiracles on their body through which they will be taking the oxygen and they will be releasing the carbon dioxide outside. So many insects like cockroaches have small openings called as spiracles present on the sides of the body. Also, they have the air tube-like structure allow the exchange of the insects. So along with the spiracles, they have the tube called as the trachea, with the help of which the exchange of the gases will be there. So the air will enter through the spiracles and starts going through all over the body. Similarly, air from the cells, they will be going outside through this trachea only. Then in the earthworm, they have the moist skin, because of which they are able to take directly the oxygen inside, and they're able to release the carbon dioxide directly from the body. So earthworm have a soft, sliming and moist skin, and hence the gases can easily pass in and out of the through the skin. So directly through the skin, they are taking and they are releasing it. Similarly, frogs also have a slippery and moist skin that helps them in the breathing. However, frogs contain lung too. Since the frogs, they are the amphibians, they can live both on the land as well as in the water. That is why two organs they have for the respiration. One is for the water, the other one is for the land. So gills they have for the moist skin they have for the water, and the lungs they have it for the land where they are on the land. And the last one in the plants, how they happen? It happens because of the root hairs. The root have the root hairs. Because of that, they will be taking they will be respiring or they will be breathing it. But in the leaves, they have the stomata which allows the exchange of the gases. Then in the woody stems, they have the lenticels. Very, very important. This is for your exams. So in the leaf, the exchange of the gases will be done with the help of the stomata, whereas in the woody stem, the exchange of the gases will be done with the help of the lenticels. And the roots, it happens because of the root hairs. So these are the different parts in the plants which will be helping them to actually respire. And last one, summary of the chapter. Respiration is essential for survival. It releases the energy. Breakdown of the glucose will be there. It will be releasing the energy, which is called as Lila respiration. When this happens in the presence, it is called as aerobic. When it happens in the absence, it is called as the anaerobic. Breathing means inhalation and exhalation. The numbers of breathing per minute is actually the 15 to 18 in a normal healthy person. Inhaled air will pass through the nostrils into the nasal cavity, then to the lungs, through the pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchiole, and finally to the alveoli. Then earthworm, they will be breathing through the moist skin or the slimy skin. Insects will be breathing through the spiracles and the trachea, and fish will be respiring through the gills. So that is about the whole chapter, which is the respiration in organisms. So now, if you have any doubt from this whole chapter, you can ask it. Yes, Adrit, Ashwat, Shritesh, Nishit, and Rohini, any doubt?
No.
No.
And last week, I think, not last week, last day when we had the class, I have shared you worksheet also. Have you tried solving them? Yes, children. Adrit, Rishit, Ashwat, Shritesh, Rohini. Yes or no? Have you tried solving those worksheets?
Ma'am, I was having exam, so like I didn't check it.
Okay.
Ma'am, even I was having exams.
When do you have your final exams, children?
Ma'am, I most probably on March.
Yeah. March
Okay, the
1st.
date sheet they have not given it yet, right?
No.
So do you have the almanac with you or not? In the school, they will be providing the almanac.
No.
Do you know what is almanac?
No.
No. Actually, the the school diary is called as almanac. Diary they might be giving you, right? The school diary.
That's from like just to write the homeworks and all.
Correct, correct. That is called as almanac. Okay, it's an advanced word actually. So in that they are not giving you the schedule of the whole year.
No, I'm like they give like for the final exams like 1 or 2 months before. Not like 2 weeks.
Okay, so you do not have any kind of the dates in that almanac.
No.
None of you have it.
Ma'am, I have it in the diary.
Okay, you have in your diary. So what is the date for your examination, Rohini?
Ma'am, like I don't know exactly. Like I guess at the ending of February.
Okay, in the Feb itself, the final exams.
Yes, ma'am.
And then when they will be starting the grade 8 for you?
Ma'am, April, between the month of April.
So full March you're going to enjoy?
And like
Adrit, what about you?
Ma'am, I think
14th or March 12th.
ma'am, March 10th, ma'am.
Okay, 14th or 12th. Okay.
Ma'am,
I
it
think
starts.
Adrit and Kshitij, you both are in the same school, right?
Yes, ma'am. It starts from March 10th.
March 10th it is starting. And ending?
Ma'am, 22nd. 22nd.
22nd. Okay, 10th to 22nd. And Rohini, exams will end by the end of the Feb. Ashwat, what about you?
Ma'am, it would final exam.
Hmm.
It would be in the March.
Okay, okay. Fine. All right, no issues. So, children, whatever the worksheets are being given to you all, just try to solve them, and whatever doubts you have, be it from the book, be it from outside the book, clarify them then and there. And grade 7 book, don't give it to any other person, okay? You might be giving to some other person, maybe some other child who will be giving it. Don't give it. Grade 7 book should not be given to anyone because the same chapters you have in the grade 10, it will be used then also.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay? So especially the science book, you have to keep it safely, and the maths also because so many topics or the chapters are there in your grade 10. Don't give it the best books. You can give it no problem, but yes, science you should not give it definitely.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, children. Then Devesh has joined now when the class is really about to get over. Devesh, are you there?
Mommy came to say bye.
I hope so. He'll say bye only. Devesh,
Yes, ma'am.
why you have joined so soon?
Ma'am, I thought the time was at 5:10.
5:10. The time is now 6:37.
Ma'am, it's UAE time, and that's why.
Oh, okay. So you got confused with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, because we are about to say bye now, actually, our class is almost completed because we have started by 5:45 according to the India timing, and almost kind of, I guess, 55 minutes class we are done with. Okay, and one more thing, why you have not written the exam, children? I think last time also I've asked you. Kindly write the test, children. Whatever the tests are there, just write it,
Ma'am,
and
I
also
had
I'll be. Hmm,
Ma'am, I had
okay,
a Abacus competition, so I couldn't write.
okay, fine. But yes, one day I think before we end this session, we would like to see the dance of Shritesh and others together, and because they dance so well, I think others might not have seen. I have seen them dancing it on the WhatsApp, on only on the WhatsApp, not in reality actually. So maybe by when we are going to end the session, that time we'll ask them, to dance. And Rohini, can you sing the song? No, okay, no. Rishit will be singing song then.
Ma'am, should I send the video link now?
Yeah, you can do that actually. You can do that.
Ma'am, should I send in chat?
Not okay. You can send in the chat also. No issues. You can send it. See, whatever talent children you have, actually, you should share with your teachers or with your close friends. Actually, we will also be learning something out of it. I'm very poor dancer, actually. Very, very poor dancer. Say, Rohini is saying same.
Ma'am,
No, but
even Adrit used to be ma'am, but once he joined, I advised him to join, and then he became very good, ma'am.
no, but I can't find actually. He is not a dancer. For me, it is a dancer only. Actually, the way he is dancing, it's like a dancer only. I'll tell you. See, when I was in the grade, till fourth grade, I used to get so many prize in the dance. First prize almost, most of the time first prize. But what happened slowly and gradually because of the studies, I forgot dancing. I was at the back of I left the dancing and I was into the studies part. Now it's like, when you go to any functions and all, everybody will be asking you to dance, dance, and I'll be, hiding somewhere in the corner of the room, somewhere in the washroom and all. I'll be hiding that they should not call me for the dance. So this is what actually I now want. It's like, but not good. We should not leave the passion, whatever we have actually. So it's good actually to see Shritesh and other dancing. They are following. They're studying also. They both are good in studies. They both are good in dancing. Extracurricular, whatever you ask, they are doing it, right? So we should be like this, multi-talented, right, Rishit? Rishit and I, we both are good in talking actually.
Yes, sir.
So we have Rohini, we have actually last year bonding. From the last year, we are like this. I and Rishit be together, and sometime Ashwat also join our gang. Correct, Ashwat? Ashwat in somewhere other gang only now.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, children then. We'll meet you in the next class. And next class, I will be starting. Which chapter should I start then?
Acids, bases, and
I'm
salts.
acid base salt.
Okay, all right. I'll start with the acid, base, and salt then. Okay, children, then. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.